and welcome to another episode of the Crimson Podcast. I'm your host, Ella Patel, with my co-host, Cam Bong, and with us we have Charlie Quinn and Nate Coleman from the fencing team.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry. These are two of the 4 fencers on our team that are going to state individuals on March 6th at North Hunterdon. Just to start it off, how'd you guys get into fencing? I mean, it's not a very well-known sport.
I'll start. First, one of my friends went to a club at a shrine, St. Joseph. He enjoyed it, and then he was asking me for the longest time if I wanted to do it with him, because he's like, lefties are good in the sport. It's helpful to be lefty. So I'm like, all right, sure. And then from there, I think that was in 8th grade, and then from there I continued into high school, and yeah.
I mean, I started for the purpose of having a sport to do in the winter. I had played basketball in middle school, and, I really liked playing basketball, but I wasn't too good at it, and I kind of wanted to try something new. So I decided to pick up fencing, and that was a really good decision.
Probably one of the best decisions, to be honest. Since this is both a team and individual sport, how do you pull your weight individually, and what can you only achieve on a team?
Well, it's individually, you can only do as best as what you're able to do. Like you go out there on the strip and you put out your best effort, and then that's how you contribute as a person. And then individual, as a team, you're always there with your teammates, trying to help them out, either coaching them on the side, trying to be a team player overall. Got anything to add?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that when you're talking about like a team, when it comes to fencing, it's really more about kind of the mental game, how you approach the game mentally, like being game day ready. But like, for example, because there are 3 events in fencing, like I can't give a ton of great advice to Nate besides like, oh, keep your head up, watch out for so-and-so. Like that's about the extent of it. And like Nate can't give me super high quality advice just because our events are so different. But individually, you got to be focused on yourself. You have to know what your opponent is doing. Like fencing is more about studying your opponent than it is moving as yourself. Like you have to be able to physically match your opponent, and then you have to be able to mentally understand them. And then that's kind of hard to do from a team perspective. So really what you have to do is make sure that the team's in the right headspace to do that, if that makes sense.
Because, you have to keep mentality up for the entire team because you can't just let one loss, ruin everyone else's.
Right, yeah.
And so, Charlie, I know individuals are coming up, actually both of you. What do you think got you here over the course of the season?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think that, for me, the biggest thing was showing up every day ready to just absolutely be dialed and lock in. Like, we had I missed the first meet because I was away, and I was kind of going into the season feeling like, oh man, like I'm kind of out of it, right? Like, because missing that first meet, like, it didn't feel right to me. Like, I felt bad. And so I kind of went into the second meet being like, I got to prove that, like, I'm here. Like, I'm here for this team. And I think that I kind of carried that weight. And then over the season, I really felt like, how can every day, like, I show up, I do my best, and, I make Bernards proud. Like, I think that's what got me here. Like, every day striving to make BHS proud, like being a proud Bernards fencer.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I'd say it's similar because I was at that meet, but I didn't do too well. I think I lost 2 of my 3 bouts. So from that experience, I was like, all right, I have to be better. So, like, from there, then, I strove to be like, all right, I'm showing up to practice. I'm dialed in the meets. And, every meet I'd be helping out the team, either coaching or setting up people with the reels. But then when it came to my bout, I was, like, fully focused in. And then, like, before and after, I'd be everything encircled my bout. And so I could get that done. And then once it was over with, then I could go back to the team, help them out. But when it came to my bouts individually, I was very I would always make sure to be focused on that to try and then improve myself from that.
So maybe it really is that team mentality that got you to where you are today and the efforts to strive to be the best version of yourself for your team as well as individually. And on that note, what are your goals for individuals and how do you hope to proceed?
I just don't want to be last. Try and place pretty high. I think just this past week I've done pretty well, like at tournaments and just during practice in general. So I have like decently high expectations. I just want to place really high. I think that would be awesome. Obviously, there's better fencers in this state than me, but I want to try my best, which I think is as much as anyone can really do.
Congrats on getting your E again.
Thank you. Yeah.
You got that
Renewed. Yeah.
Renewed,
My
yeah.
E.
Yeah, I mean, I think my goal is just like Nate, place high. I mean, I know a lot of my competition. I fence with them outside of school practice. And I think a big thing is that they're all fencing these kind of big regional tournaments, and I don't necessarily fence those tournaments. So I think I've kind of also going in there kind of wanting to prove, like, you don't have to be fencing the biggest tournaments to be a good fencer. I think I want to place high, and I think my biggest goal is to outperform my initial seeding.
So 32-6, or wait,
I
you're
finished eighth, so maybe seventh. But that's
really good.
that's going to be tough. I got to make it to the third pool.
What inspires you guys to work so hard for your goals?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an answer here. I
Yeah.
can let you think, Nate. For me, it's to keep up the legacy of the burn sensors before us. I learned a lot from some of the seniors who graduated last year. I learned a ton from Oliver Poe, who was an incredible fencer, and he taught me a lot. And he was such a good fencer, and like high school fencing was kind of secondary for him. Like it was kind of just something he did for fun, and he was so good. Like he only lost 4 bouts all 4 years of high school. Like he barely needed to show up, but he still decided to show up because he wanted to help the team grow, and he wanted to help us, learn what it was like to be a good fencer. And so I don't want to kind of tarnish his Bernard's legacy. I want to keep going, and I want to, be that person for another fencer, right? Like I'm nowhere near as good of a fencer as Oliver, but if I can show someone else what it means to be a good fencer, because good fencing isn't just about your athletic skills. There are so many more things that go into it. And if I can show someone, what it's like to be that good fencer, then I'll be happy with my time as a burn fencer, and that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, and I guess now that I think about it, also the people before us definitely inspired me to continue forward. But then also, what was a big inspiration was like the 2024 Olympics, seeing the fencers there like on a whole different level, and that was one of the first times I even was watching professional fencing. So seeing them like perform so well and seeing just the atmosphere around it, I was like, I'd love to like be somewhere near that like one day, trying to aspire to be similar to where they are in their stage. I always will try and that inspires me to try and get to their level of fencing.
Yeah,
That's really neat. What do you do out of the box that helps you win?
It's like right off the bat, like as soon as the ref says go, like what do you do?
I'm always, initially I move forward, try and analyze my opponent. If they seem pretty aggressive towards me, then I'll back off a bit. But usually I try and assess what they're doing like right away, even before the bout. But then inside, as soon as we fence, it's right to like seeing what they're gonna do, how they're reacting, or like maybe test them with some things like, oh, am I going forward or backwards, and see how they react, and then come up with some sort of attack I could use against them.
Yeah, I think what I do almost immediately is, oh man, I don't even know. I feel like it's so like muscle memory that I don't even know what I'm doing. I think like Nate, I step forward. I put a lot of pressure on my opponents. That's kind of the way I fence. And I know that gets predictable at practice, right, Cam?
Yeah, it does.
Definitely gets
definitely
predictable.
take advantage of it.
But against people who don't know what I'm like fencing, it works perfectly fine. So that's kind of what I do. And then, like Nate, I kind of try and suss out my opponent, like, see, how do they react to this? How will they, like, if I threaten their arm, what do they do? The biggest thing is I want to make sure that I'm fencing my bout and I'm not letting myself fence the opponent's bout, if that makes sense. Like, I'm going to dictate the tone of the bout, and I'm not going to let someone else dictate the tone of my bout. I guess that's what I do immediately.
Going off of that, what's the most important part of fencing? Like footwork, blade work, or is it like dependent on weapons?
It's all the mental game. Doesn't even matter. If you can't put yourself in the headspace to analyze your opponent or come back from a lost touch, you can't do anything else. If you have the best footwork, the best blade work, but you can't tell yourself after a bad loss, okay, I need to shake it off, then all your skills are for nothing. You need to be able to strongly react. You need to be able to learn from your mistakes. And that's where you're going to grow as a fencer, and that's what really matters.
Wait, what's the biggest comeback that you've made?
A good comeback story would be against Milburn. They've got some really good épée fencers. And
I remember that one.
actually, no, this is a comeback victory. I was down 4-2 with 30 seconds left. And this guy, I fenced him numerous times at tournaments. We've got a little bit of a kind of rivalry going on, and it can get pretty tense. Like, even when we fence at club practice, there's definitely a lot of tension. And so I was down 4-2 with 30 seconds left, and I just was able to string together two really nice touches to make it 4-4. And then we go into overtime, and I think he had priority. So for the listeners who don't know, that means if the time were to run out, he gets the win. So I need to score here, and if he scores, then he still wins. So I think what I did was I pushed him to the end of the strip because I knew the way he reacts. He's a very, like, he'll put a lot of pressure on you, but he does it while he's letting you push him back. He wants to be at the end of the strip because he wants to wait for an attack so that he can use his counterattack, because that's where he's really strong. So I think what I did was I feinted to his hand because I knew he wasn't going to react. I made it seem like I was going to pull back, so like I must have gone to his hand like twice maybe. And then instead of pulling back, I went straight through him and I got the touch. And he just wasn't ready for it. So I think that was probably my best comeback of the season. But had I let myself lose the mental fight, being down 4-2 with 30 seconds left, that wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, makes sense. Do you need a refresher on the question?
Sure, yeah.
Like, what's the most important part about fencing?
Oh, most important part. Yeah, I'd agree on Charlie's point on the mental game because I've seen phenomenal fencers lose to, like, fencers who just started. And that just shows, like, it's really just all in the mental state. If they're not there that day, then it's detrimental to your wins and losses. I mean, yeah, one time it was practice, but Oliver Poe lost to Tiffany Zhang, she was a skilled fencer, but not as much as Oliver, that was a very big event that day. But yeah, anything really can happen if you're not in the mental state.
Yeah. Although I think there is something to be said too, like, sometimes those losses just happen and you got to deal with it, which is also part of being in that right mental state. Like, sometimes you're just going to lose bouts you're not supposed to. Yeah. And you got to roll with it because otherwise you get stuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. What's your favorite part about the sport? And that can be either physically or a memory that you have.
I think it's very, like, rewarding when you win. I feel like it's just the atmosphere is awesome. Like, getting the final touch on, like, a clinch bout, or, like, my favorite memory is winning Citrullo's, I think sophomore year, because that was just so big. Like, seeing Oliver get the final touch and then we all started cheering afterwards. I think it's very fun to be celebrating a win right after. I'd say it's, like, different from, like, track because sometimes it's like delayed. because people run races and then you don't know if you won yet or not. But then with fencing, yeah, you get that final touch. That's it, and then the bout's over. And so, yeah, I think, celebrating is fun.
Yeah, I think my favorite fencing memory is winning the county tournament my freshman year. That was my first ever competition fenced. And I distinctly remember that I beat Pingree's fencer, and I think that was one of the bouts that pushed us over to get the win. So I didn't realize how significant it was that I had beaten Pingree. I figured, oh, whatever, just the county tournament. But, knowing that my signature is on the bottom of that trophy, and there's this great picture of all of us together holding the trophy, that's just really special, and it's going to stick with me together. And I think that that's probably the moment where I'm like, maybe I can do something with fencing. How can I repeat this?
Are you guys going to do it in college, do you think?
I am planning to now. It wasn't until recently I kind of thought of it, but yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm meeting a coach March 1st at a college tournament, so we'll hope stuff goes well there.
Good luck.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
I haven't really decided yet. I still got a little time. I think that I want to fence in college. I just don't know how I'm going to fence in college, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if the NCAA is right for me and my other aspirations in life, but I'm going to seek out fencing wherever I go. The question is just how am I going to do that?
Yeah, D1, D3 club.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, Nate Coleman and Charlie Quinn. This is another episode on the Crimson Podcast. Here with me, I have Cameron Bong, and I'm your host, Ella Patel. Thank you so much for watching.